Hey, and welcome to this edition of Road Warrior. I'm your host, Grant Roberson. Now, this week we test out the 2014 Jeep Grand Cherokee. Now, we've been behind quite a bit of these models, really find the vast differences in the power plants and really the fit and trim on the inside. But either way, you're really getting nice comfort on the inside, decent power plant regardless of the engine you choose under the hood, and of course a trail-rated vehicle from the outside. Now this is a limited model, which means you're going to have some chrome accents here on the handle, around the window, and on that 7-slot grille up front. Now we tested the SRT. Now the difference with that type model obviously is the power plant under the hood, but also the kind of lower fascia and the body color all the way around. Now by the numbers, the Jeep Grand Cherokee is going to measure in about 190 inches and around about 114-inch wheelbase. Now that's decent numbers. It really translates into decent comfort on the inside for easily 5 people. Now what I love about the standard trail-rated model is that you're really getting these kind of off-road tires, nice tread height, and really meant to get in the mud. Now that's versus the SRT, which is going to come with that street-inspired performance racing tires that are a little bit more low profile and aren't really meant to go mudding. Now if you look at the numbers overall by width, again you've got a nice hip room, leg room, and of course plentiful headroom to boot as well. Now overall, as for the clearance, you're going to be around about 8 to 10 inches depending on the models. Again, enough height to really get off-road. Now one of the biggest differences you're going to find in this model is right here under the hood. Now it came with a 3.0 liter EcoDiesel V6 engine. Now if you're not familiar with diesels, and really kind of make it a shocker on this vehicle, as really you think of maybe yesteryear type engines as they produce a lot of soot and that traditional black covered rear bumper. Now that's far from the case here, as this diesel really is refined. Has a little bit of rumble, kind of that diesel noise you expect, but nowhere near a Freightliner or the big rigs going down the road. Now if you look at the power, of course, that's really where it delivers. Now the horses is around about 240, with the foot-pounds around about 420. Now that's decent get up, as really that torque is allowing you to get off the line and get that oomph you expect with that diesel power. Now the best part about the EcoDiesel was really the fuel economy you're going to get. Now it's going to average around 22 miles per gallon in the city and around about 30 on the highway. Now it's going to deliver around about 500 to 700 miles of range on this 24-gallon tank. And that's decent numbers considering when you really go to the other engines in this options, you're going to drop that quite considerably, usually in the high teens, maybe mid-20s with fuel economy. Now coming around to the business side of the Jeep Grand Cherokee, obviously the cargo area. Now it's probably the second thing on your list to look at besides the nice power plant under the hood. Now what's great back here is really the cargo space that this vehicle has. Now one of the first things to note is really the smart key systems on these newer vehicles. Now I talk about it all the time, and it really just can't be overlooked because it is one of the most convenient kind of accessories that you're going to have on the model. Now what it means is obviously you get to the door, press the button, and it all unlocks, leaving the key really in your pocket. And it's kind of a safety feature really, because you're not really fumbling for keys maybe late at night in kind of that desolate parking lot. Now really back here at the cargo area, it translates as well, really allowing you to walk up, press the corresponding button, and this vehicle's tailgate is going to rise to the occasion. Now once it's open, it's going to be traditional cargo space, really enveloping anything you throw in here. Now a lot of SUVs are really adding that third row, which is cramping the cargo space, and of course maybe even cramping that occupants in that third row. But really what you're going to notice on the Jeep Grand Cherokee is they stuck true to the 3+2 design, really keeping it to 5 people on the inside and plentiful cargo in the back. Now once the tailgate rises to the occasion, you obviously get your items in there and then you're going to leave. Now one thing to note on these power lift hatches is that you really kind of struggle to pull it down because it really wants to be powered down. Now a lot of SUVs are putting that corresponding button right in this area. Now one thing I don't like on the Jeep Grand Cherokee is they place it on the inside. Naturally after you load, you're going to be about right here, which means you have to go back inside the vehicle, press the button here, and then of course the tailgate lowers. Now it may sound like a trivial kind of complaint, but really moving it to the tailgate might be an added asset. Now once it closes, of course, other things to talk about is safety. When you back this vehicle up, they do have the rear sensors allowing you to kind of not have to feel your way through. You're obviously going to be alerted to any problems. And the biggest thing a lot of SUVs, of course, going with is that backup camera. Now, if you don't want good fuel economy or good torque off the line, of course you can go with the 3.6 liter V6 engine or the full-size 5.7 liter V8. Now, the 5.7 liter is going to be the closest to the diesel with the type of towing and the horsepower and even that torque we talked about. The 3.6 liter, of course, being a little more anemic. But either way, really this EcoDiesel is delivering that fuel economy that I was really looking for. Now, by the tow numbers, the V6 is going to tow around about 6,200 pounds, with both the V8 and the EcoDiesel towing about 1,000 more pounds. Now, once you climb inside, really that smart key system translates right here to the driver's system. There's a corresponding button, no key to fiddle with. Again, basically press your foot on the brake and the car starts up with the press of a button. Now, once you're in here, you're really going to notice the innovations that have come to the forefront once we reach the new millennia. Really, 2014 is the era of innovation, and most notable is the U-Link system right here on the dash. Now, we talked about it before, and really just the brief of it is it really houses everything. No clutter of buttons, and really kind of simplifies your dash. Now, once you use the system and get used to it, you're really going to find it houses everything. You know, heated seats, cooled seats, navigation, and really it's all touch screen. Now, right behind the dash, of course, you really have that digital display. It's going to give you the up-to-date information. You can make the speedometer digital. You can get an old school tach, however you want to do it, but it's right there front and center. Now, this model is four-wheel drive and trail rated. Now, the components for that are going to be right here in the middle, and this little dial-in system pretty much allowing you to select from snow, sand, mud, and rock, and of course auto for your traditional riding experience every day. Now, you pretty much dial that in. Now, another nice feature is the up and down. Now, I'm not a real off-road enthusiast, but allowing this vehicle to kind of raise or lower to the occasion is an added benefit for me every day, because you can really lower it to allow the kids to get in a lot easier. And of course, if you really want to go rock climbing, you can raise it just a hair to kind of get over those kind of bumps in the road. That does it for this edition of Road Warrior and our test drive behind the 2014 Jeep Grand Cherokee, specifically with that EcoDiesel engine. Now, again, you've got to love the new diesels that are out. They have just a little bit of rumble, but they don't have all that exhaust and kind of that dirtiness you feel when you get behind the wheel of a diesel. It's definitely not a Freightliner. Now, again, the Jeep Grand Cherokee is one vehicle that we've test drove many a times and we've yet to fall out of love. Again, it's got the great interior. Depending on the trim levels, you can really take it to a whole nother level, and it really has all the comfort you're looking for. Now, one thing, of course, not to forget is that tremendous cargo space, really allow you to take all the people and the gear that you could possibly want. Now, I'd like to thank you for watching this edition of Road Warrior, and as always, keep both hands on the wheel and eyes straight ahead.